So good morning students. Today let's start with animal cell. Already in the last class we have completed plant cell, right? Today let's start animal cell, prani kosh. So here in animal cell almost all organelles are equal, but some organelles are there in plant cell like plastid, like dictyosomes. But in animal cell and plant cell, almost all organelles are equal or similar. So let's start. If you start the external morphology, from the external morphology or morphological view or the outside, if we'll see, we'll find the animal cell is spherical in shape, right? But the plant cell is rectangular in shape. In animal cell, the outer covering is also two layers. Two-layered outer covering of the animal cell is known as cell membrane. Okay, what is that? This is cell membrane. The cell membrane is made up of different things. Mostly it is protein, lipid, protein, or it is PLLP pattern. Okay, we'll be studying later. But here inside this, the total cell is divided into three different parts. What are they? Number one is the upper covering, that is plasma membrane, or we can say the cell membrane. Number two is cytoplasm. Number three is nucleus. Okay. So total, if you divided this shell, we'll find only three things. What are they? This outer covering is known as cell membrane or plasma membrane. The is inside you can see the spherical body. Okay, the spherical body is nucleus, which is the centrally deep shaped or dark shaped spherical body, is having the function of control and coordination of the total cell, is called nucleus. And around that, around the nucleus, up to this cell outline, you will find these. Okay, all these things, this liquid or the fluid like substances is known as cytoplasm, kosozyma. Okay, cytoplasm. And almost all organelles which are present inside the cell is called cell organelles. These cell organelles are present inside the cell, but inside the cell means what? Inside the cell membrane, but outside the nucleus. It is present in the cytoplasm, right? In the cytoplasm. So inside the cytoplasm, all these cell organelles, they are always in a floating or flip-flop manner. They are floating everywhere, right? What are the organelles are there? Let's see. Already have discussed all the organelles in plant cell. What are the organelles then? Because you can see its total is plasma membrane. Okay, this portion, this total liquid portion is known as cytoplasm. This small bean-shaped body which is present here is known as lysosome, and the lysosome is known as suicide sac or the bag of the cell. Why? Because when there is starvation, there is food is unavailable outside, then it can digest its own body. So it is known as suicide sac or the bag of the cell, right? After that, you'll find here the centriole is there. The centriole meant for mostly cell division. And here you can find, here and here. This is mitochondria. What is this? This mitochondria. If under electron microscope we'll see, we'll find this structure. This is mitochondria, which is cylindrical or cucumber shaped. Okay. And here you can find inside this mitochondria, this portion you can see, this is finger-like projections. And the finger-like projections are known as crista, around which the F1, F0 particles are there. Here you can see these particles made for use this energy, store the energy in form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. So ATP is known as energy currency of life. ATP is known as energy currency of life, and here this mitochondria is known as the powerhouse of the cell. Mitochondria is known as the powerhouse of the cell, where it stores. Here also the DNA is having its own DNA. Due to having its own DNA, and here the mitochondria having its own DNA and ribosome. So this mitochondria is called semi-autonomous organ. Semi-autonomous organ. Okay. So next to mitochondria, we'll find another this apparatus you can see. It's called Golgi body, Golgi apparatus, okay, or gamma cytomembrane. But in case of plant cell, it's known as dictyosomes. In Golgi body, if you'll see, because this is Camillo Golgi, 1898, discovered this Golgi body from the barn owl, liver of the barn owl, bone marriage. Okay. And here, this Golgi body, if you'll see under electron microscope, we'll find this structure. What are the structures are present? There are three different structures we'll find in case of Golgi complex, Golgi body or Golgi apparatus. We can say gamma cytomembrane, or in plant cell we can say dictyosomes, right? So these three structures are last vacuole, cisternae and vesicle. We can say vacuoles, cisternae and vesicles. Vacuole, cisternae and vesicles, or we can say small vacuole, large vacuole and cistern. Okay. After this Golgi complex, we find from here, this is the nucleus. Okay. From the nucleus to like this, it will be extending up to the which one is plasma membrane. Okay. From the plasma membrane, it will be like this. It will be extending up to the upper layer up to the nuclear envelope. What is that? That is endoplasmic reticulum. And endoplasmic reticulum, if you will see, we will find two types of endoplasmic reticulums are there. One type, it's having plain structure without any organ on it. But in the next another type, we will find the small budding like structures are there on its top. If budding structures are there, that is known as RER, rough endoplasmic reticulum. Why? Because in rough endoplasmic reticulum, you will find ribosomes are there. Because in rough endoplasmic reticulum, as ribosomes are there, it will make its rough appearance. Its rough appearance and presence of ribosome meant for protein synthesis. Okay. Next part is here if you find no dotted structure, here the plain structure is there. So that is we can say smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum. It will increase only the area of absorption. And as you know, we are using many medicines. The remnants or residues of medicines are there in our body. So these medicines actually what will do? It will also digest by this endoplasmic reticulum, or it will have the side effect and will suffer from diseases. But this medicine remnants or residues will be digested by this endoplasmic reticulum. So after all this we will find inside, and here also many droplets are there, microtubules are there, microfilaments are there, which means for cell division, and they will prepare fiber, spindle fiber during cell division. So besides all this, the spherical round shaped body which is present at the center of the cell is called nucleus. Okay, the nucleus you can see how spherical is the deep or dark shaped body, and here we will find double layered outline. a nuclear envelope. This outer covering is known as nuclear envelope. Nuclear envelope is double layered structure, and here some parts you will find the nuclear pore, the small pore or hole like structure, which is here, its nuclear pore. And inside the nucleus you will find the another small spherical structure, that is nucleolus. And nucleolus, here this is nucleolus. Nucleolus also contains RNA. RNA stands for ribonucleic acid. RNA. So RNA meant for protein synthesis. Okay. So this is nucleolus, and in this nucleolus around of it you will find small liquid or semi-liquid, or you can say semi-solid like structures, sticky structures are there. Inside the nucleus is known as nucleoplasm. We can say the cytoplasm inside the nucleus is known as nucleoplasm. This is nucleoplasm. And around the nucleolus, inside the nucleus, you will find some anastomotic structures. Anastomotic, you know, chandashmi. It's crisscross. Okay, zigzag. These thread-like structures you will find here, anastomotic structures or crisscross structures, we can say zigzag structures. These structures or thread-like structures we can say it as chromatin. Okay, these are chromatin, and when it will be growing on in the future, it will be extended and condensed, then it will form the chromosome. As we know, inside the cell, chromosome is there. Inside the cell, the nucleus is there. Inside the nucleus, the chromosome is there. Inside the chromosome, the DNA is there. Inside the DNA, the genes are there. So directly or indirectly, the chromosomes are helping in transmitting the characters of parents to their next generation or to their offsprings. So we can say this is all about your nucleus. So we have discussed the plasma membrane, the cytoplasm, and the nucleus. Inside this, and another one thing I would like to say, this plasma membrane. This is plasma membrane. This plasma membrane is sometimes or always it is not allowing the other materials directly coming inside this. It may come because it is selectively permeable in nature. It is selectively permeable or semi-permeable in nature. Why? Because the particles which will come from outside to inside, its size rise only 10 to the power minus 8 micron. Okay, minus 8 angstrom. So that's why it's known as semi-permeable or selectively permeable in nature. And besides this, if the particles are coming out and in particles will going out, so that to and fro motion is going on between the particles. That's through three processes are there. What are they? One is osmosis, one is diffusion, one is active transport. Okay, that's all for the day.